Okay, everybody, continuing our work with properties today. Today, we're working on the distributed property. Yesterday, we did commutative and associative properties. Today, distributed property. So let's look at our objective. Don't forget, please, to write lesson 1.8 at the top of your notes and today's date. The objective, students will simplify expressions by applying the distributed property. So again, we're going to simplify expressions by applying the distributed property. Let's see how we do that. So the distributed property says that for all real numbers a, b, and c, a times b plus c is equal to a times b, plus a times c. So now let's use numbers so we can see that, because I know sometimes all those variables a, b, and c kind of confuse you guys. So for distributed property, what I want you to write is distributed property, the word. Hold on. Okay. And I want you to write this. That's really showing the distributed property there. And with numbers, this is what it would look like. So if I have 4 times 3 plus 2, that will get me the same answer. If I add 3 plus 2, which is 5, and multiply by 4, which is 20. I will get the same answer as if I multiply the 4 times the 3, which is 12, and added to the 4 times the 2, which is 8, and then 12 plus 8 is 20. So again, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 2 is 8. Add them together, 12 plus 8, 20, getting you the same results regardless of which way you do it. Here, the 3 and the 2 were added for 5. And then you multiply by 4. Okay? I want you to write down, please, this and this as well to show the results. And then we'll go to the next screen here. For here, all I want you to write is the bottom as another example. So I want you to write letter A, so we can see this is an example for A. And then 8 times 3 plus 5 is the same as 8 times 3 plus 8 times 5. What you're doing here is, when I think of distributive, I'll tell you what helps me remember it. I think of distribution. And I know it happens at a distribution center. A distribution center is a really large place where they keep items maybe sold at a store. So let's say Target, since we all go to Target. Target's distribution center. It's a huge location, warehouse kind of place, where they keep all the items sold at Targets. Trucks come over to the distribution center. They pull into a gate or a window type place. There are many trucks pulled in there. Each one of those Target trucks is going to a different place, a different Target store. They load the items from the warehouse onto the trucks that go to the stores. Then the trucks go out and drive to the different stores. So while one truck may be going to Target in Laverne, another truck is going to the Target in San Dimas, okay? And another truck is going to the Target in Upland. So these trucks are distributing all of the items sold at Target to the different Target stores. That's distribution. So distributive, what are we passing out here? What are we distributing? Basically, we're distributing the number 8 here to the 3, and then we're distributing it to the 5. So we're multiplying the 8 times the 3, and then we're multiplying the 8 again times the 5. So that's our distribution. Okay, write all that down, and then we'll go to the next screen. So for letter B now. I want you to write the problem, well, letter B, write that please. And then the problem, 8 times 3 plus 5 that we have here, right? And now we're showing how this actually works. Now we're showing that they have the same value. So first we're using just order of operations. So what do we do first? We have multiplication and we have parentheses. We have to do what's in the parentheses first. So 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, which is where I got this 8 from. So 3 plus 5, all of this here, is 8. Where did this 8 come from? Here. Okay? And what is 8 times 8? Now I can multiply it. 8 times 8 is 64, giving me this result here. The bottom, I need you to write that down as well. Now I'm using the distributive property. So just like I showed you on the previous screen, we distribute the 8 to the 3 and we distribute the 8 to the 5. So once I do that, I can multiply. What's 8 times 3? 24. And what's 8 times 5? 40. When I add them together, I get my result of 64. As you can see, same result. They're equal, regardless of which way you do it. You might be asking yourself, so why don't I just add the 3 and the 5 all the time? Why do I ever have to use the distributive property? Well, you have to use the distributive property because sometimes in those parentheses is a variable and a number. And if you remember correctly, you cannot combine a variable with a number unless they both have the same variable. So, we're going to look at some of those as well. So, write letter A again as another example. 2x plus 3. All right? We use the distributive property. By the way, this is one of those examples I just gave in those parentheses, x plus 3. Some of you might be thinking 3x. Get it out of your head. You cannot think that. That will never be 3x. 3 times x is 3x. X plus 3 can never be combined. In order to combine it, you would have to have an x next to the 3 as well. It would have to be x plus 3x. But that's not what it is. So you can't combine it. So here we have to use the distributive property. You cannot add what's in the parentheses first. Can't be done. So this is why we have a property to help us solve this problem. So we multiply 2 times x. You can multiply a number in a variable, but you may not add or subtract that. So 2 times x, we distribute the 2 to the x, we distribute the 2 to the 3. By doing that, we get 2x plus 2 times 3. So 2x is 2x, and 2 times 3 is 6. Now can I add these? 2x plus 6? No, you cannot. 2x plus 6 is your answer, okay? So, you can't simplify that anymore. The answer is 2x plus 6. That's just simply it. Let's try another one, B. X times x plus 7. So this is taking you back now to 1.3, right? You're going to see that in just a second. So x times x, we're going to distribute the x outside of the parentheses to everything inside of the parentheses. Again, you cannot combine the x plus 7. That can't be done because x and 7 are unlike terms, and you cannot combine unlike terms. So we distribute the x to the x times x here. We distribute the x to the 7, x times 7 here. So what is x times x? That's what you did in lesson 1.3. You did powers. So x times x is x to the second power, or x squared. And x times 7 is 7x. Can I combine those now because they both have x? No, you cannot, because they are not both raised to the same power. This x is being raised to the second power. This x here is being raised to the first power. There's no power there, so we know it's the first power. So don't forget to write this as well. And this is my final answer right here. This is it. X squared plus 7x. Okay. Letter C, 5x plus 9x. Now this time, we are going to, you can add these and you can just get an answer of 14x. Okay, because they both have the variable x, you can just add them. However, I want to pull out the distributive property this time. what am I multiplying 5 by that is the same that I'm multiplying 9 by? You should have said x. That's right, I'm multiplying them both by x. 5 and 9 are both being multiplied by x. So I can use the distributive property to pull that out, the x. So I know, since I'm multiplying x both here, I can just write it here outside and add the 5 and the 9. So I'm going to pull this x out and this x, pulling them out. I have the x here now. They're gone now, gone. What's left? 5 plus 9. So I'm multiplying x by both 5 and 9. Okay? So that's how I did this. What does that equal now? 5 plus 9 is 14. 14 times x is 14x. That's why I said in the beginning you could just add 5 plus 9 and get 14 for 14x. Because they both have an x with them, you can combine them. They are like terms. Okay? Next one, letter A. What if there are more terms in the parentheses? So what if I have 8 times 2 plus 3 plus 4? You're still distributing this 8 to everything in the parentheses all the way over here. So we're going to multiply 8 times 2 plus 8 times 3 plus 8 times 4 all the way across. And now we're going to actually do that multiplication in addition. So 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32. And when we add all of these together, we get 72. Again, we're going to distribute the 2 to everything in parentheses. So we're going to distribute the 2 to the 3 to get 3x. We're going to distribute the 2 to the 5 to get 10, right? So we use the distributive property here. 2 times 3x, 6x. Minus 2 times 5, 10. We multiplied. Now, can we subtract? Now we're going to subtract, can't we? Hopefully you said, no, Mrs. King, you can't do that because they're unlike terms. That's right. The 6 has an x. The 10 does not. That makes them unlike, and you may not add or subtract them. Your guided practice now. You don't have to write all this, just write the guided practice down here. All we're going to do, though, is we're going to use the distributive property to write an equivalent expression and then show that they have the same value. So you're going to write the problem. Then you're going to use the distributive property here to multiply 3 times 2. And what else do we multiply 3 by again now? 7 in parentheses. Okay? So, first doing it now this way and then this way to show that they have the same answer. This way is 3 times, now what's 2 plus 7? 9. And what's 3 times 9? 27. So there's one answer. Now let's do the other way. What's 3 times 2? 6 plus, what's 3 times 7? 21. And what is 6 plus 21? 27. So we just showed that they have the same result when we use distributive property as well as when we don't. Okay? So same thing I just wrote up there, you do the same thing. We're going to do that for a few of these. So let's do number 2. So here, 11 times, what's 10 plus 5? 15, right? What's 11 times 15? 165. Now let's do the other way and see what we get. We're going to multiply 11 times 10 plus, what else do we multiply 11 by? 5. 11 times 5 equals. So 11 times 10 is 110, plus 11 times 5 is 55. 110 plus 55 is 165. Perfect, same answer. Number 3. 8 and 5/10 minus 1 and 5/10 is going to be 6. And now we're going to multiply 17 times 6 is, let's see, 160 plus 42, 202. Okay? And down here, we're going to use the distributive property. 17 times 8 and 5/10 minus 17 again. Again, you're multiplying this times this also, times 1 and 5/10. All right, let's do 17 times 8 and 5/10 first. I'm going to work this down here because I need to do long multiplication. Okay? So 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 0, cross out. 8 times 7 is 56. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 5 is 13. Add together. Decimal. 144 and 5/10. Oops, sorry, I meant minus, not equals. 17 times 1 and 5/10. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 3 is 8. 0, cross out. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. Add together. Decimal. 25 and 5/10. Now I'm going to subtract. Looks like I didn't subtract here. Looks like I added. I did something wrong, right? Because these are going to be two different answers. So I know I did something wrong. 25 and 5/10. This is the good thing, though, about using distributive property to check and see if you get the same thing. 4 minus 5 we have to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus nothing. So this time I got 119. Right? Compared to 202 up here. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. So either I didn't subtract right or I multiplied wrong. So let's do 17 times 6 in long multiplication and see what I get, okay? 7 times 6 is 42. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Huh. Well, now I'm really confused. Still a different answer, right? That's okay, I love this. Let's see what we did wrong. Let's see what I'm doing wrong, all right? So, let's see here. So let's check our work. Let's check our multiplication here. 17 times 8 and 5/10. This is 35. 1 times 5 plus 3 is 8. 0. 7 times 8 is 56. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 5 is 13. When I add them together, 5, 6, and 8 is 14. 4, 1, still got 144 and 5/10. 25 and 5/10. Let's see if that's right. 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 5 is 5, 6, 7, 8. 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. 5, 15, 2. Place the decimal and subtract. Huh. Maybe you guys can figure out what I'm doing wrong, but I'm definitely doing something wrong. Did I do this? Maybe this is what I did wrong. Minus 0, 7. That's my mistake. It's 17 times 7, which is 119. All right. See, that's what happens when you do something in your head, right? So I'm glad that happened, because that's going to happen to you too. So we need to figure those things out. Let's pull our arrow over and just make sure that we got this now, okay? Yep, that was my mistake, 7. Okay? All right, 9 times 8 minus 7. So, let's see here. There we go. 9 times 8 minus 7 is 1. That's 9. Distributed property, 9 times 8 minus 9 times 7. 72 minus 63 is 9. Same answer. Tell if this is correct. So you're going to write this one too, and you're going to tell if this is correct. Is this using distributed property? Your answer should be no. That's incorrect. What are we missing here? We didn't multiply. It should be 2 times 3 plus, don't forget the 2 here, times 5. You're distributing the 2 to everything in the parentheses. Okay? Next one. Let's see if this one's right. Let's see. Well, if I just add these together, y plus 7y is 8y. Times 4. What's 4 times 8? 32. Y? That's correct. This is 32y. So this one's correct. So our answer here is correct. How about this? 6 times 4 is 24x, so that's good. And 6 times 1 is 6. Uh-oh, that's not good. This should have been 24x plus 6, not 1. So this one is incorrect. Not right. Let's see this one. 2 times 3 is 6, so that's 6a. Nope, should be 6a. Plus 2 times 6 is 12, and that part is correct, but this part was incorrect. So this one is incorrect. Next one. 4 times x is 4x, plus 4 times 9 is 36. So you should have had here 4 times x plus 4 times 9. Make sure you're writing these down. Okay, so 4x plus 36 is your answer. Number 10, 3 times 5x plus 3 times 1. 15x plus 3. That's your answer. Again, I'm not highlighting, but make sure you're writing these down. 8 times 4 minus 8 times q. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times q is 8q, and that's your answer. 2 times x minus 2 times 25. This is the last one we're going to do. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 25 is 50. And that's your answer. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, give me a call. And that's the end of this lesson.